North Dakota land where the skies are wide and the freedom stands. With a Bible in my hand and a prayer in my heart, living this life where the wild plays its part. Dust on my boots and my hat pulled low, got my trusty rifle and I'm ready to go. Hunting the game as the sun hits the sky in the heart of the 701. I feel so alive. Guns and the 701. That's how we roll. Faith in the good Lord, that's how we hold the line of the legacy that runs through our veins in this wild, wild land where the spirit remains. We're living free, living bold, side by side, with God on our plate and our hearts open wide. In the fields, the cattle run free with a purpose so strong, it's our grand legacy. The rivers run deep as we cast out our lines, fish in the waters where the North Star shines. Got the warmth of the sun with the chill of the night. With every shot fired, we're ready to fight for the freedom we cherish. The second is true. With family beside us, we stand through and through. Guns in the 701. That's how we roll. Faith in the good Lord, that's how we hold the line of the legacy that runs through our veins in this wild, wild land where the spirit remains. We're living free, living bold, side by side, with God on our plate and our hearts open wide. In a world that's spinning with sins that they wield, we stick to our values. Our fate is revealed with the word as our guide. We tread on the earth, a community built from the love, not the curse. Raising our voices, singing loud through the night, for God and our freedom, we'll continue the fight. Let the rifles ring out, let the spirits align. In North Dakota's embrace, our souls intertwine. So when you hear the gunshots and feel that proud sound, know it's faith and freedom that echoes around. From the fields of the ranch to the depths of the lake, with God on our side, there's nothing at stake. Guns and the 71, forever we'll stand in the heart of our faith in this great free
Alrighty. Hey, good evening, fellow MVs, freedom fighters, and patriots. Good to have you all on tonight. Hey, Dennis over there. Good evening. Of course, we have Jamie's on there. Hey, I sure wish I could have made that, but I got sicker than a dog this weekend, so it's a good thing I wasn't even able to come because I had nothing planned after I got sick. So that's just the way it goes. Kelly Chase, my buddy over there. Hey, he says, good evening, fellow freedom fighters. Absolutely. He's a great guy over there in that Valley City area. David, Mr. 701 Marksman, good evening. Want to catch his show? It's usually on about once a month, and it varies because he's busy. So he's on the road trucking, making a real living. And can you imagine doing that at over $5 for diesel? Waylon Turnus, good evening. Everybody else, good to have you on tonight. The numbers are climbing, so good to have you coming on here. Got a pretty good show. Dusty Backer, he's going to be joining us, and we're going to talk about the North Dakota Game and Fish and their release for deer season tags. Interesting. It's funny that some of that stuff mentioned in there was things that we discussed in the meeting when Dusty, myself, and Daryl Lease met with Jeb and the crew. So should be a pretty good discussion. And of course, I got a few things if we get time to it. There's a young man or young student in Georgia at school. He made a Lego gun. I mean, I'm not kidding. And this kid got suspended, I think, for 3 days. So I might touch on that. But I really hope to get to, and I was going to do this on Friday. I was at 3 a.m. I was out. I sent out a message that I cannot do the show today. I am just completely sick. I don't get sick like that, but the South Dakota East River elk season with unlimited season tags. So we're going to break that down a little bit if we have some time and talk about that. All right, with that, everybody, again, we got to start this show just like we do every single show since we've been doing it with this episode 185. Can't believe it, but here's our Second Amendment for all of you. The well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And that's never going to change. It better not in my heart, not for me, and I'll defend it. So it won't change for me because I'll go down fighting, and I'm sure several of you will here as well. And it is threatened every day. It's just that simple. You don't have to look far to see the threats happening. I want to thank LAUER Auto Repair as well. They are a founding sponsor, and they're the ones that power this baby. So thanks to Axe and the crew because they've been with us since day one. We got a few things that we're working on, possibly a new show coming. I just keep teasing you with it because it's not for sure. Everything's not done with it yet. But this one might be kind of cool. It's going to go into a whole new different area of what we do here, but be an added element to the network. So I think everybody will like it. We're just kind of figuring out a day to see what it's going to do. And we're not worried about who or where we compete with. This is a network. We're going to build it, and we're not going to play by any rules. We're just going to go for it. So that's how that's going to go down. Anyway, with that, we'll start with our prayer, and then we're going to bring Dusty on. Heavenly Father, thank you for the beautiful day that we had. A lot of things were getting done. Ranchers are out doing their things, fixing fence. Crops are getting put in. We could use a drop of rain, but we are thankful for everything you have given us. Everything we have is because of you, and we are blessed abundantly here to be citizens of the United States and enjoy the rights that we have that are all granted by you. Also, please watch over the men and women who defend this country each and every day as they signed a blank check payable with up to their lives and asked no questions. We want to ask you that you watch over them, keep them safe, and return them all home as they face our enemies, both foreign and domestic. We have them everywhere, but because of our military, we remain free. Also, Lord, we want to ask that you watch over anybody that's suffering, anybody that's facing problems, anybody that needs help. There are so many things going on in the world that I see, you see, everybody around us sees, that just reach out and watch over them for us if you can. But if you're one of the people that are listening tonight, please reach out when you see somebody struggling. Get involved. I've been helping with this youth group, and the rewards are endless, and I'm glad that I did this. But please help those that are suffering in this world today, Lord. In your name we pray. Amen. All right. So that's kind of near and dear to me, and I've seen a lot of things happening. Also, I want to send out some prayers to the Lutz family. One of my best friends, he lost his dad, a valiant battle with cancer and some other disease, but he had a nice long life, and we're looking forward to celebrating his life here. So just keep that family in your prayers as they go through this process. We're all going to face it. We've all done it. So do that as well. All right. We got people still. Hey, Gene, good to have Gene. We haven't seen Gene in a while. Steve Zay says, sweet. Good evening, Ethan High School Clay Target Team. There you go. In one shot. Good evening, Patriots. Absolutely. Now, Jamie says, yeah, they had a great time. Just missed having you. I really wished I could have made that. The hootenanny, the hog leg hootenanny, but maybe we'll make the next one. I know that we're planning to do a 2A day down at Whalen's Range, and we're looking at May 24th. We'll give you more information as we get everything kind of settled. We got about 2 weeks. Friends of ours from Minnesota will be there again, Chris Brownell and his son. We're looking to shoot the mile. I'll probably get embarrassed again, but we can have some fun with it. But that is what's on the agenda right now down at the rock range, or not the rock range, the I can't remember what he calls it, something Crick range. But anyway, we're looking forward to getting over the Whalens and sending some freedom seeds downrange. With that, I think Dusty's with us. Oh, his screen is blank, I think. Well, Dusty, can you hear us?
Gotcha.
Oh,
How are you guys?
Well, we lost your we lost your video for some reason.
You can hear fine?
I can hear you, but I can't hear you.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I'm trying to do it on my end, but I can't.
Okay.
Good, so.
Say, I'm beside you on my screen. I don't know if I need to log out and log back in, or...
Shouldn't have had to, but tell you what, why don't you do that? Just go on out, come back in. Okay. I'm sure I can BS a little bit with everybody here, and then we'll bring you back in here.
All right.
Yep. Technical difficulties, guys. You know, it happens here, right? We'll get Dusty logged out, have him log back in, and hopefully he'll have a camera again. I don't know what happened there. I was before the show, I had him on there. And like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about the North Dakota Game and Fish. And there, I see him there. I'll bring him back on here. There, we got you.
All right.
I don't know what happened, Dusty.
Yeah, I don't either, because it looks the same on my side here. I was on my screen.
Interesting. So as I was telling him, we're going to dive into this North Dakota Game and Fish release. Did you see the release?
Yep, sure did.
I had it sent to me about 1 million times. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate that. I make sure I got the info. But
that's great.
I'm just going to start with you. I read it. Is there anything that stood out to you in this?
Not really, just because, I attended the advisory board meetings and they were pretty open about all that at the meetings, which I did appreciate.
Yeah.
So there really wasn't much new in there. I know we knew it was going to be like record lows as far as tag allocations, because they had mentioned they're going to be cutting a lot of tags, archery tags, rifle tags, and realistically they need to be cut. I just hate taking tags from people because of mismanagement, That's my biggest issue. So, well,
it's like when we went to that meeting with yourself and me and Daryl. I mean, we talked about one in particular subject, but that led to others. And I flat out, I think you remember when we saying, I think you got to close the entire season for a year, and they didn't seem very receptive to that.
That would really get some people up in arms for sure, but we're really not that far off of that. In fact, somebody at one of the advisory meetings, I believe up there in Minot, mentioned like if we would have one more bad winter and set our herd back even more, you wouldn't have a choice. You'd have to. Right.
You really would. I'm sure there's units that could be open. I don't know. You look at some of the units, they've got large numbers. It's like anything else, but I don't think you'll see them do it unless they're absolutely forced to, because they want that. They want the green. And I see Steve just got revenue. Yeah, that's exactly what would happen. And I'm telling you right now, I've seen the antelope season in this unit close down at times because there wasn't a population to support it. I think you could see that in a lot of these deer units. I mean, Kelly's listening right now. So when I was up there with him, he took me out just to kind of show me the landscape around that Valley City area and where they used to hunt. There's nothing, Dusty. I mean, I couldn't believe that, and it isn't a habitat issue. There's habitat there. I mean, there's a lot of farming practices there. They're probably bigger and wider than they were, but there was still ample habitat to at least support something, and you saw nothing. I mean, I think we saw a handful of deer, and I don't know how many miles we drove just checking things out. That was pretty disheartening. I didn't even see birds, pheasants, not much. Just it was almost like a wasteland.
Wow.
And that's disheartening to see. It's nothing like what around here we got pretty healthy herd. It has changed from whitetail to mule deer, but we have ample mule deer. And the pheasants this year, I don't know what you're seeing up there, but holy cow, these last two open winters, I'm seeing numbers like I seen back in the day. So I'm excited about pheasant hunting this year.
We're the same way. We're dodging them all day long on the roads. It's absolutely, with a good hatch this summer, it's going to be like we haven't seen in years.
Yeah. So that leads kind of, you're reading their release and they talked about and they told us that in these meetings. I'm sure you saw the other, in the other meetings, I'm sure they said the same thing, right? No habitat. It's all because of the habitat, right? And I'm kind of looking around at my area and the things I've done just on my little area. Numbers are up. Things are looking better. Yeah, I've done a few things to help habitat, but it's not all habitat. It's probably a lot of the other things I've done.
Well, like we say too, I mean, I don't care how much habitat you put on the landscape, but grass plus grass does not equal deer. Like deer plus deer equals deer. Every deer we have on the landscape now, we need to keep alive. Even if a winter hits again, we have to keep every deer alive. I mean,
and you told them that day.
I sure did. Yeah, you can preach habitat all you want, but that's not going to do any good when it's laying flat in the winter and we start losing deer again because of the winter.
Well, it's like we always said, crops isn't habitat either. That's temporary food.
Yep.
But it's not habitat.
Right.
I mean, it could be temporary habitat, but again, it's very temporary.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, food plots are great, but so Kelly says, "Oh, birds are good here, just no deer." Okay, so they got good birds up there too. So I'm seeing really good numbers of pheasants and partridge. I've always got grouse. I don't wonder how many thousand grouse I have on this place, but
wow.
I live in an area where, the grouse are plentiful. They always have been. And I like grouse. I haven't hunted them just specifically in many years, but I like eating grouse. They're good too. But
sure.
So I'm kind of going back to what they said here. I see that they've got a total of 240 non-resident any deer archery licenses available. So, and we've discussed this. I think we beat that to death in many different places. But when you have to cut licenses, to me, you cut the non-residents first. I've always said that. I've always been a proponent of it. I know some people don't like that, but and we know we know where the blame lies, right? But why should the residents suffer even more when they wouldn't have to? You could take those 240 non-resident licenses that are, and it says what, archery, and turn them into rifle tags.
Right.
And, at least alleviate some of that pressure, honestly.
Sure. I mean, if you were another state too, I mean, would you want us coming down there and shooting your deer when your population's down? I mean,
well, no, they'd probably
got to take care of your own.
They'd probably do like me. When I know that the deer numbers are low, especially when I go look at the numbers that they're releasing, because all them numbers are out there. I'm sorry, but I'm going to give my friends and family and residents first shot at it. It's not going to be non-residents.
Right. And that's what's great. You can make that decision with your own place too.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it boils down to just, we need to take it back into our own hands.
I do agree. Steve Langley goes, yeah, state taxpayer first. There you go. Yeah. I mean, the people who are paying the wages,
right.
Let's face it. That's the biggest wage payers. Eric says, grouse is way better than invasive species revenuing pheasants. And you want to have fun at a game and fish meeting when they start talking about invasive species or aquatic invasive species. And they say, well, raise your hand. Of course, I can't get away with that. They know who I am now. But, why did we let this invasive species called the ringneck pheasant? I said, we promote it, we fund it, we have an organization that funds it and promotes it. They work hand in half with game. So you're okay with that invasive species.
Right.
And I mean, I love pheasants too, but let's just face it, that is an invasive species.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
David says, anyone else's YouTube feed choppy? I don't monitor the actual feeds, so I couldn't tell you. Our end looks good though, don't it?
Yeah, it looks really good on our end.
Pretty crystal clear, really. So anyway, so let's just say so 2026, they set the licenses at 39,100 licenses. It's down 3,200. Muzzle licenses were also reduced, and antlerless deer gun licenses are not available in several units. So probably a good start. how many times have I told you in 3F2, and I need to go look and see what they're going to have available. I haven't hopped on there in 3F2, but those needed to be cut severely. We got a good population in areas, but the number of deer licenses they were letting out, if we'd have let them fill them all, I don't know if there'd have been any deer left in the unit.
They've been pounding your unit, Clay, for years because of CWD.
Years.
They still have CWD tags now. As far as this year, I'm not sure. We need to find out if they have.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. But like they mentioned that they're getting rid of antlerless deer licenses in some units, and that's a good idea. Don't kill your does out. Like you said, more deer is what we need to make more deer.
Right.
So yeah, Steve says his YouTube feed is good. So I don't know, tell you, Dave, but I just kind of clicked over on mine now when you said that. It seems like it's coming in good. Might be your end, but I look at that and go, my goodness. Now, in the archery season, did you see that they changed that a little bit too?
Yeah.
What's that?
Go ahead and read it to the people.
They decreased, of 60 licenses. And this is for non-residents, guys. They can only hunt on private land, excluding the private land open to sportsmen plots during the first 9.5 days of deer bow season. So the first 9.5 days out of about a 10,000 month season isn't a whole lot, is it? A little bit of an exaggeration. Yeah. I don't know. That runs from end of August to
usually the 4th or 5th of January, typically.
Yeah. So 9.5 whole days, really.
Yeah. I think that's going to take some, the big, just a little background there. There's so much pressure in the Badlands. They've made a lot of pressure in the Badlands from non-residents and residents. I think they're just trying to back some of the non-resident pressure off of the mule deer in the Badlands.
Okay. And I do know that gets hit. If you listen to Scott's show any Saturday during deer season, you can find out how much pressure is being hit in that area. He goes right up to the beginning of some of that. But I was just kind of looking at that. I'm not exactly surprised that they reduced them. 3,200 is, out of 40,000 licenses. I don't know really what that might do or might not do. It kind of depends on the units they're doing it in. I didn't really go look that out or break it out. Yeah. Maybe it's not even up there yet. I don't know. They did mention what I noticed about this, and I was telling you, did you notice the one thing? What was the one thing they didn't mention in this article?
CWD, Clay.
Imagine that. The one thing that they've been pounding about money. They've been pounding this out in ads. They've had whole campaigns about it, but yet never was mentioned. But they did mention the one thing that you and me both brought up at that meeting when we were there together. I brought it up individually to them. I brought it up on the show, and that's EHD. The real killing disease.
Right.
And I'm glad they're mentioning it because that is a factual thing there. That happened. We'll see what this year brings. I can tell you that I found a few last year, but you could tell it kind of seemed like settled down. And this spring, I seen about 15 head of whitetails together. That's the first time in 3 years.
Wow.
On my land. So I was glad to see that. So we'll see if any bucks come on. Maybe that's part of the herd that I saw last year that grew a little bit. It was a pretty nice whitetail with them, and I left them alone. I just, like you said, it takes more deer to make more deer, so I didn't shoot no whitetails.
That's right.
So I don't know. I'm just glad to see that they at least acknowledged it. What I call it, epizootic hemorrhagic disease. Did I get all that right?
Yep, sounds good, Clay. They mentioned the two real killers, and that's all they needed to mention. In the winters, those are the killers of deer.
Yep. And they do. We've seen that. I've seen it. You've seen it time and time again. You get a bad winter here. The deer and pheasants, they're toast every time. And it doesn't matter. A deer will somewhat come and eat hay. Antelope will not. I've watched them die and laying next to a haystack. I noticed that the whitetails, at least right here, they're more apt to eat the hay if you put it out than the mule deer. Not that they won't eat it, but the whitetails are more apt to do it. I've noticed that. I've been here, almost 30 years so on this place.
Yep.
So I kind of know their habits. I just kind of looking at something here. They talk about, quality deer habit and quality, particular quality cover for fawn rearing and recruitment, potential for a population recovery. And you got to have a good fawn. You got to have a good birth rate, right?
Yep.
And that's something I should have went and looked at, but I've been kind of busy here. I don't know what they have. They've got to have numbers on what the birth rates have been, don't they?
I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I know in the Badlands, as far as the mule deer population, they got a pretty good idea on that as far as the fawn rates. I think they were about like 40% the last couple of years.
Okay.
Which isn't great, but doing all right. But I think EHD's been a big factor too, though, as far as fertility, because I've seen several does, after the EHD outbreak in 21, that big adult does, they did not have fawns the next year, several of them. So
yeah, that's why I mentioned it. Are they being bred in?
There we go. There we go.
I blinked out here. Come on, Elon, keep that Starlink going. So yeah, I don't know. Are they getting bred and are they carrying the term? I don't know. I don't know if there's any numbers out there. That's something I'm actually going to take a look at that and see what do they think the rate is of actual birth to full term to,
Sure.
And, Steve says, do you have many fawns taken by coyotes? I'm sure they do. I know this year I've heard of tons of calves being lost to coyotes as far as producers, which I had my fair share around my cows, but they never took one of my calves. So that tells me the coyote numbers are pretty high, and I've been hearing that everywhere. I'm guessing you've heard that too.
Yeah, we've been hearing a lot of that actually. Coyotes are out of control, and I'm sure they get a few, but my wife made a good point today. I mean, at least our area, there's so many birds. I mean, there's no way the coyotes can be hungry. There's so many pheasants and partridge and grouse. So to me, that's got to help fawn survival too. Sure, they're going to take one if it's there, but
be like, opportunity. What's the opportunity? If it's easy, they'll take it. Otherwise, they'll go get something else. Yeah.
Right.
And that's, I always look at the rabbit population. So I noticed our rabbit population, it's been pretty high. And I noticed this year, coyote population went pretty high. Now we'll see what happens here. If I start seeing that rabbit population go down, that tells me there's a good number of coyotes out there. And guess what? What follows that? A decrease in coyotes.
Yeah, that's true too.
I mean, I've noticed that forever, right here. My grandpa used to tell me the same thing when he lived south of here. And you just got to watch that rabbit population. I'll tell you what the coyotes are doing. So.
Yeah, and that's true too. I just wish the fur prices would go up. Get a cow back up to $100+ a box, and people would definitely start hunting those things again.
Yeah. Steve says here, he says, deer license available. He says, if you can open that, it has licenses by area. Yeah. And I just haven't had time to go take a look at it since they opened it up. I probably will do that here because, I might talk about this a little bit on Friday too, but he says, to get a deer license, you have to bring in 5 dead coyotes. There you go. And Kelly says the coyote has shifted from deer to livestock. And I've been hearing a ton of problems. Like I said, I've had no problems right here. But I've heard of a lot of guys, and I will say most of them are bigger producers with 300, 400, 500 head of cows. So they're more so, calving in the pastures.
Okay.
Where here I'm in an enclosed area where I have pretty good secured area. And of course, my dogs keep any coyotes out of the immediate yards. So that probably helps. And my cows don't generally, they won't go after a coyote particularly just to kill it. But if they come near their calves, they'll stomp them into a mud hole. So they're doing their thing.
Sure.
And I don't know if that's because, my calving lot is pretty, it's enclosed compared to most people. I do it a little different, but I don't run 400 head, nor do I want to. So I try not to ever lose a calf.
Sure.
But it's just a numbers game to me. Just looking through some of these, Waylon says terrible numbers at the farm. So, don't have very good numbers there. And Gene says, don't forget the carp. They brought that in for sportsmen. That worked out. Yeah, they brought the carp over here to be a game fish. And now what do we do with them? I've never done the bow hunting, but I know a few people like Corey and the guys that listen to he goes and hunts them things with his bow.
Yeah,
It looks like fun.
That bow fishing's a blast. But I got a platform for the bow. Man, we shoot some 40+ pound buffalo carp. It's incredible.
Wow. I bet you that's a fight, ain't it?
It is a fight, and it's a blast too.
I mean, I've caught a lot of carp. Just they fight. They don't give up. They're a fighter.
Yep.
And I know people that smoke them, and I've ate smoked carp, but there's just so many other better fish to eat.
Yeah, right.
I'm probably, I know Eric likes northerns, and after I finally learned how to flay them without them wide bones, I like northern, especially like them through the ice. Walleye I like, but to me they're kind of flavorless. I mean, I like a little flavor with my stuff.
Sure.
But anyway, I'm kind of breaking down some of this. They said that in some parts of the state, a deer gun harvest is down 90% from what was harvested in 2005, which would be 20 years ago. That's quite an astounding number. 90%? Now, I'd like to know too, because you and I, you know the answer, and I'm not going to say it here, but there's a lot of people that don't answer them surveys except with didn't harvest, done, and that's the end of their survey. So I honestly would like to know what percentage of that is that answer, whether they harvested or not.
Sure.
Because I know it's happening. I know several that do it, and it'd be interesting to see what that number really is. And then the thing is, they base so many things on that number. And it's a false number, really.
Right. Absolutely. It's just a guess.
It is. It's a guess. There, of course, the department there. I love this always. And exactly, I'll read it first. Emphasize habitat through existing voluntary landowner programs, new partnerships, and innovative solutions such as the Governor's Legacy Soil Health and Habitat Program to bolster deer populations. And what did I tell them, guys? I told them that the reason they have such low landowner participation, because they do, it's very low when you compare the amount of private landowners in this state. And because nobody's going to sign up for a program where they have no control over the access. It's that simple. I told them that's why plots. I said, I don't care if you remember what I told them, I don't care if you guys paid $10,000 an acre, I wouldn't sign up because I got no control over it. And that's a fact. I guess they can't grasp that idea that some people just don't want their money. I don't know.
Probably when you're all about the money, it's probably hard to think that way.
Yeah, there's not an amount. There is no amount. I guess maybe because I haven't mismanaged my life so bad that I need to take every single penny that's out there. But there is not an amount of money they could pay me to enter into a plots program as it's set up right now. Because that's like making it public land, and I won't have nothing left on it to hunt myself.
Right. Yeah.
It'll look like the 2 pieces of government ground.
Right.
They hit it once in the morning, and it's a barren wasteland the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Unless something tries to sneak across it,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Dave says he's talking about that big buffalo car. Yeah, those will pull the boat around. Let's see. I'm just looking. Oh, Kelly says, yeah, they don't get much time off from Freedom Seeds at your place. Well, they've had a little bit of a break as far as I think in reference to coyotes, because I haven't been on it like I should be. But yeah, I've nailed a few. And badgers. I've never seen more badgers in my life, I don't think.
Really?
Have you seen that up there?
No, not really. I've seen a bunch of porcupines here lately. But
I mean, I can't tell you how many badgers I've seen just in the last week. It's like, and they're having a lot of babies. So what's that tell you? I mean, they're having young ones.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not a very, I don't like badgers, but well, that's a whole different show. Let's see. Cody Hilliard says, is the plots program paying the county average for land rent? I really couldn't tell you. I'm not interested in the program, so I've never looked at what they pay, but it wouldn't matter. Like I said, there's no amount of money that would ever make me enroll our land in that program. Sure. Because I'm not going to have free access. And what I mean is anybody coming on there without telling or saying, or I can't even limit the numbers, because that's how you have no animals left on your land.
Right.
I know how many deer can be taken out of this herd that runs my place.
Yeah.
Granted, they don't all stay right here, but they run an area, right?
Yeah.
And it isn't going to be 100. It ain't going to be 100. Just not. There would be no deer left, and that's what you'd see come. And then they would swarm the place, and then they'd all run away anyway. So yeah. It's not a good program. It needs to be modified with control. I still think they need to look at Montana's program, the block system. It has its faults, but it's a good start, and maybe develop something with landowner input. That's always their failure. They select certain landowners, right? That might agree with them. They won't invite me and you.
Well, we've been trying to get a seat at the table.
Yeah, we'll see if they follow through on that too.
I want to say though, to answer Cody's question, I think if I didn't hear right, I think it's $10 or $15 an acre for the plots. It used to be like $5. I think they bumped it up.
Okay.
Do this governor's legacy thing.
Well, that's what they talked about doing. I
was kind of surprised it was more than it used to be, but that's the great part too about being a landowner. You have that right and you have that choice too. If you want to enroll in it, don't care if people shoot all your game, then I guess have at it. But
yeah, I mean, okay, I just pulled it up here. You got several different things. It's 50 cents per acre for marginal projects to upwards to $100 per acre for prime habitat protection. So we're talking different things within the plots. You can do a habitat plot. They're based on the county average non-irrigated cropland cash rents. They enroll for 10 or more years, and that's part of what that's going to go into some of this other, and receive an additional $30 an acre for the HIP, or Habitat Incentive Program. They range from 2 to 30 years, different compensations based on working lands, wetlands, woodlands, CRP cost shares. They can enroll in the CRP. So yeah, you can enroll in all these things, and I guess double, triple, quadruple dip. So that's what you're kind of looking at the plots program and the different contracts. And like they talked about the governor's deal there, which I voted no on that, on the Outdoor Heritage Fund. I did vote no on that grant. And I know Dwight was, I can tell you what I did. I thought it was too much money for a pilot program. I just did. And so we supported one that would have done like half of it. So I voted for that one to give it a chance, I guess. But there was no way I was voting yes for that bunch of money. And it only affected, I'd have to look at the number, but it's not very many acres. It really isn't for the amount of money. But yeah, that is available now too. And that will be in, so you could do that and then have plots and have this and have HIP. So I don't know what you could end up getting. It don't matter because I'm never going to do it. It's just not. So yeah, and I don't know, if you're not a hunter and you want to provide public access, I guess do it, right?
Right, all the power to you too. That's
property
rights.
It's part of being the owner, but don't be mad at someone who doesn't.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because they also have that right, and that's what happens there. I did notice though what they said though, that was the lowest total of licenses. Remember what they said? In a half century, 50 years. 50 years. We're at our lowest number.
Yeah.
Now you go back 50 years, that puts us roughly in the 70s. 70, 71, 72, when they weren't doing all these things, yet we had higher numbers. We weren't doing a lot of the chemical farming practices that we do now, but yet they had higher numbers than we do now. I don't think it's just habitat. I don't think it's just the weather. I think it's a combination of several things that's going on that landscape myself.
100%. Yeah.
I'm trying to restore some of that here, and we're getting there. It's going to take time. My sons will probably see the max benefit of it, but
sure.
I'm 51 years old. I'm not going to live to see everything that happens that we're doing here, but that's the idea of it, isn't it?
Yeah. Leave it better than what you got it.
And anything else you want to add to that? We probably should take a quick break. But I don't know if you want to add anything to that particular subject.
No, I think it's just we've been on a downward spiral, and I think the not just the landowners but sportsmen, we need to get together and we need to turn this, just take in our own hands and turn this around. The agency's they're just not getting it done. So
yeah, and I think you hit on a pretty key thing there. We have got, and there's lots of reasons that wedge has gotten there and why it's bigger between landowners versus hunters. That needs to go away, because it takes us both.
Right.
But it takes people also that are willing on both sides. I'm not saying I'm not willing, but when I meet some of these guys that seem like they have such an entitlement anymore, that doesn't help.
Right.
And that, I do believe, was created by special interest groups and by that agency, in my opinion. And it's not a good thing. So Dan just chimed in. Good evening from the Western Edge. Just got in from the Trap Club. Hey, and I think, if I remember right, there's still a moose raffle going on out there, ain't there, Dan? You have to enlighten me. I know I got my tickets from Kerry. So anyway, they got a really great Trap Club out there. I really encourage you to, if you need information, get a hold of myself, or I can put you in touch with Dan, because they got a really nice trap club out there now that they've built. And I need to go do that. I haven't hit the trap clubs in a while. Maybe I need to do a little tour of them when I get it in. I'm about done calving and I haven't started haying yet. So maybe I'll have to go do that. Come up and pick you up, and then we'll go through.
Shoot them up.
Yeah. See if I still got it. I don't know. It's been a while since I hit trap. So, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a break. And I really want to come back and I want to talk a little bit. I still want to hit the South Dakota elk thing, but you got another issue, and maybe we'll go to that first. Okay.
Sounds good.
So he's got something on his, the chronic wasting disease Facebook page. So go hit that during the break. You guys might be a little bit, I don't know, there's probably a little laughter probably in store there. So you go hit it up, go catch it, and we'll be right back with Dusty Backer, and we're going to talk CWD and some recent results, right? Is that a good way to put it?
Good way to put it, yeah.
All right. We'll take a quick break here and be right back.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right, go where lemons go. Kalon's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalon and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemmon. Kalon's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton LaserCraft, we believe in the power of personalization.
Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton LaserCraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton LaserCraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton LaserCraft, where memories are engraved.
How do we achieve real energy dominance? We need to continue to crack down on unnecessary regulations. I'll fight to end every federal carbon initiative that punishes North Dakota producers. And I'll introduce legislation to remove the restrictions blocking new fertilizer plants, processing facilities, and refineries. I'll also introduce legislation to make ag and energy part of the critical national security infrastructure so that future administrations can't turn back our progress towards energy dominance. Paid for by Alex Balazs for Congress.
And Crappie Creek Feeds, brand new headline sponsor here, LLC, Jason and Megan Holmes, 605-850-3998. Again, 605-850-3998. All your livestock needs, mineral, liquid, garlic, salt, you name it. They got it all. That's where I get my feeds. They handle Anapro feeds, and they are some of the best you're going to use. Crappie Creek Feeds. Again, call Jason or Megan, 605-850-3998. All right, I got the business part done. and this is what they sell down there. Anapro, he's got some great selections down there. Give him a call, and I think you'll be happy. I know I got to go down there and pick up my next order. I haven't had time, so he holds it for me, so that's good. Anyway, so I really encourage you to get down there and do some business with him, and he's a great sponsor. Known him for years and done business with him for some time now. So, all right, so I'm going to pull this up because I have it up here, right here. There it is. All right, so I'm going to let you go with this, Dusty. Why don't you tell us what this is all about?
Yeah, so majority of people probably don't know, but North Dakota Game and Fish, they played Santa this winter. What I mean by that is literally flying deer around in the northwest part of North Dakota by a helicopter because of a CWD study that, as of now, they've spent, again, our money, Clay, whether it's Pittman Robertson or our license fees, because they applied for a $200,000 grant last year for CWD surveillance. It wasn't a detailed grant as far as the criteria goes, but $200,000 to go and use a helicopter, use a net gun, net deer, flying from the helicopter, dropping them into 14 or 15 individuals that we're paying, and pull 6 samples out of these deer, literally cutting their butthole out, and ear punch, and nasal swab, and tonsil swab. They did, I believe, I'm looking at my numbers here. They did 35 deer total. They did 32 bucks, 3 does, and no fawns. Now, keep in mind, this is the end of February is when they did this collared study. And I just can't believe they did this in the wintertime, stressing our deer even more. Our population's already way down, Clay.
Isn't that kind of a bad time to do that?
Well, they say because the cooler temperatures, if they would do this in the summertime, the hot temperatures is really hard on the deer. But in the wintertime when they're stressed too, Clay, you're flying them around from the helicopter and you're literally cutting their butt out and stressed and all. I wouldn't be surprised if half of these deer die. And if they come back and say they're going to test positive for CWD, it's not going to work out well for them. I just can't believe they keep pushing this CWD narrative.
Yeah, and I heard nothing about this. Now maybe they put some releases out, but that till you brought that up to me, I was like, I hadn't heard heard anything about that.
They have kept it real quiet, but yeah, we actually have a video too that'll be on our page tomorrow.
Well, here's what So 35 deer.
Mhm.
All right. So it's 35 deer. They're giving out roughly 39,000 deer licenses, and I don't know what the percentage that is of the deer population but that seems like a small sample to me, which is not very scientific from anything I've ever been involved with. When you're sampling stuff, it's a little bigger than that. I mean, we take bigger samples when we do campaigns.
Right. Exactly. I mean, it's a waste of people's money. I mean, it continues when they still can't prove, like, I mean, the people have been in legislation several times on this CWD issue, and the game and fish cannot prove anything. I mean, 7 clinical deer out of all these years and all these 55,000 deer tested. And there's been one that's actually had a myelin deterioration. I mean, we've talked about this before, but then now you're trying to prove that deer die from CWD, and now you're killing more of our deer, because several of those deer are going to die just because of the stress and what they just put them through. Because when you cut some of the butt tissue out, they're prone to bacteria infection.
Yeah, they're taking fecal matter. They're taking ear punch biopsies, tonsil swabs, nasal swabs, blood, remote test, which is the removal of the anal lymph tissue. So I would imagine that almost anybody that hunts and dresses out an animal, or if you butcher your own animals, or you've been around live, getting the anal lymph tissue is not going to be very positive to survival of an animal, is it?
Not at all. And to keep in mind, they did not put the animal out when they did this. And if anybody wants to look, you can go to our page too and watch how they cut out part of the butt. It's very disturbing.
Yeah, it says they did a topical lidocaine and anesthesia.
Yes.
Come on. Wow.
And they flew them anywhere from 0 to 5 miles hanging from a helicopter. Like, I mean, this is just insanity.
Piece of the ear.
It's very disturbing.
And then they took a piece of the actual ear. Wow. That just seems like extreme to me. Yeah, Kelly says, "Give me 200,000. I'll get you 35 samples." Yeah, exactly. and you probably process the meat afterwards. At least it wouldn't go to waste, would it?
Exactly right. Yep.
These are still CW dog call tags in the mix. Yep.
It's an ongoing study too. So once the study's over, we'll get the end results. We can fill the people in too. But we just felt like the people need to know exactly what's going on.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I said, until you told me, I had no clue. Man, that's the kinds of things that I've been involved with some different things. It seems like a very small sample at a very high cost, not just dollars wise, but population wise, deer wise. I mean, I don't know, that to me, this just does not seem right.
Especially after our meeting, like you talk about when you and me and Daryl were in there about the feeding program. I remember Jeb looked right at me and said, "With what funds?" And I was like, "Well, use the CWD surveillance and management funds." And he looked right at me and Jeb said, "Remember that? Like, we're not getting all those funds, those grants you accuse us of." I'm like, "Well, you applied for the grants. And now here's another one for $200,000. So we could be spending that on feeding deer in the winter, $200,000.
Yeah. Rather than killing potentially 35 deer.
Exactly.
They might not have all died, but yeah.
Right. But flying them from helicopters, like, I mean, $200,000 would go a long way on feeding deer to keep them alive and not killing them.
Yeah. I remember so last time I was actually on Facebook actually looking at anything, and I looked at your chronic wasting disease page. I did watch that 8-minute clip from the North Dakota public meeting in Minot. I thought that was pretty good too.
That was real good. Yep.
You want to tell them a little bit about that?
Well, basically, one of the guys there was talking to the Game and Fish about the feeding program, and they always, I mean, not always, but they're very good at dismissing the people. And Casey was the one that responded on that one and turned it around back to money. And that is not what the person was asking. No. Just asking if the Game and Fish would team up with the local groups and basically the people to get a feeding program going on the harsh winters. And he was just totally dismissed, but he did an incredible job.
Yeah, I thought it was real good. It was hard for me to hear it. I would try to play it, but I don't think it'd come through very good here because you know how that is when you're just trying to record with a phone.
Right.
But I thought he did a good job, and you're right. He got immediately dismissed. Of course, same thing we got told. Well, how are you going to pay for it? And that's when you threw, well, there's plenty of CWD money. $200,000. You could do a little bit with that. And that's just one little thing. That's one little project they did on 35 animals. That's it.
Right. That's it. That's sickening.
And I don't know if that included the wages for those 15 employees. I don't know. I mean, you never see any transparency or you never see any reporting publicly on it, do you?
No, not when it comes to the CWD stuff. You have to do open records requests to get any information about it. And the open record requests to people, it's not a bad thing. It's just for transparency that we should be getting regardless.
Well, yeah. I mean, $5,714 and change per deer. I don't know. Seems like a lot.
Well, especially when, Jeb dismissed us, where we're going to get the money from? Well, you just dropped $200,000 and in the open records request, it said the grant has not been received yet. So then they're using our money, our $200,000 we could be feeding deer with. Yeah. And then Casey dismissed that gentleman up in Minot where, the funds, the money. Well, again, there was $200,000 we could have used for something positive.
Right. That's just it. I know I've got a Outdoor Heritage Fund board meeting coming up here shortly, and I seen some of that stuff was, sent out to us. I had just got it today, and I was not in, so I haven't had a chance to go look at it all. But how much you want to bet that there's game and fish grants in there?
Well, make sure you report them. We love transparency, Clay.
Well, I'm going to take a quick look over here at the email. So let's see. They're going to do a lime sand seafelt dam reparation project. Okay, that's one grant. I'm kind of going through this. Now they're doing they got a grant for a no-till versus conventional till demonstration from NDSU. Okay. Oh, here we go. 28E donation supported. Plots submitted by the North Dakota Game and Fish Department. I haven't had a chance to read the grant. That's just the heading I have on it.
Okay.
Hey, here's one. Coyote Clay Target League Bunker Trap by Coyote Clay Target League. So I'm glad to see some of that stuff coming in. Maybe, I talked about that last time. I said, hey, you guys are all qualified for this money. You might as well apply.
Right.
The Audubon Great Plains, a conservation forage program. I'm looking to see if there's anything from North Dakota Game and Fish. Sure. Not really. You got North Dakota Natural Resources in there. They're wanting a working grassland partnership. North Dakota Open Prairie Initiative submitted by the Wildlife Foundation or Federation. That's the only thing I've seen that would be game and fish. So
okay,
they had a lot more in there last time.
Sure.
But I'll dig into these, and to me, this is again all public information. So I don't have any problem sharing it. I really don't. I think it's good that being this exists, that a person should look at these grants and put that information out.
Absolutely.
Because I know that the meeting's coming up here. I'll tell everybody. I know I got a date, and it'll be at the Capitol. I'll put it out there, for everybody. It is going to be June 30th. Yeah, it looks like from 8:30 to 8:30 to 4 Central Time, and it's usually held at one of the rooms in the Capitol building. But the public is invited to attend these. You can't say much there, but why not come and check it out? See where this money goes, right?
Right.
Nobody really shows up at these things. That's the sad part, but they're not publicized. They might be on the website, which if you've ever been there is hard to navigate, really. It's under the Industrial Commission. So anyway, I just literally got this list of grants. There's 13 applications. So I'll take a good look at them, guys, and I'll report back. I don't know if I'll get it done this week, but I got a little time here.
You bet. That's great too, I guess, as far as Outdoor Heritage Fund, when we talk about a feeding program, if we can get a group or organization to bring a grant to the Outdoor Heritage Fund.
Well, right here, a conservation forage program. I don't know if that's going to be something they put out there that would be kind of like a food plot.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing a forage program and they call it, so
Yep.
I don't know. I'll have to look at it and see. I looked at some of them here and just they got a pollinator garden submitted by West Fargo Park District, so I'll have to look at that. I don't necessarily write that off because that's bees. And I know.
Right.
I mean, I know how important bees are to
You
the
bet.
ecosystem. So
That's
I'm
right.
not necessarily against that. But
Well, just to throw it out there to the people too, Clay, and you included and friends. I mean, anybody out there for any ideas on putting a feeding program together? I know a lot of landowners and sportsmen are already doing it across the state, but
yeah,
we are legitimately, wanting to put some feeding program together for the future on the bad winters. That,
Yeah.
how would this run statewide? Where would we get the funds from? Like, if people have ideas, we would love to hear them.
yeah, and you can send them to Dusty. You can send them to me. If you send them just to guns@gunsandthe701.com, or you've got my number, I would definitely get you in touch with Dusty because I think you're the point man on this. You got Dwight up there, and I'm sure he'd be involved in this, isn't he?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I'm sure Daryl, if you know Daryl, you could forward that information on to him.
Yep.
I think we probably, when something comes to being a plan, I mean, it's going to take some time here, but then definitely have Daryl have this on his show. He's got the outdoor program, and I think you could build something, and you could even find probably donors that would either donate time or donate, money, donate actual forage, whether it be hay or maybe oats hay. There's people out there. Because some of us are already doing it. Like remember what I told them that day? So I already do it.
Right, exactly. A lot of them already do across the state, but why not help them people out if they want some, but if they don't, that's fine too. But
yeah,
because majority of the people, where the deer winter in your area for the most part.
I know I wintered a bunch here last year, but the winter wasn't that tough, which was good.
Right.
But whether it's tough or not, this is kind of, I got particularly 2 quarters. It seemed like it's their winter range. And I don't own the 2. I own one of them and the other guy owns the other. And they're right across on the state line. So are they North Dakota or South Dakota deer? I don't know.
Both, I guess.
Both, yeah. They're trans state.
Dakota deer, trans state.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, when you live out here and you're here every day, the habits don't change of those animals. They just don't.
Right.
When they get into there. So back up here, Dan says, yes, we got the moose raffle, and the club out there has a multi-gun raffle going on. So Dan, if you get a chance here, I'll put this up next week. Send me and if you did already, I apologize. I've had a ton of things going on here, but email me a flyer for that because I'd love to put it up here and give you guys a little press on it. And might as well share it. I know I've shared the moose one, but I definitely do that multi-gun, and let us know about it, right? Get her out there.
Right.
Let's see. I'm just kind of going through here. CW to Justin says CWD stands for chronically wasting dollars.
That's right. We've heard a lot of those pop up,
Eric says government working annually. Seems like they always work that way, right? He goes, Eric says, have a hay donation program. If the government isn't involved, people will donate. That's a good point. That's why I read that. I can tell you right now, by not having government involved in something like that, you're more apt to get more participation from people you'd never think about.
That's a good point, too.
You look at what happened in them fires down there in Kansas and in Nebraska. I don't know if anybody caught all of the videos that were all over every social media platform. And I'm talking hundreds of thousands of tons of hay moving across multiple states heading to that area, all tailored by volunteers and no government involvement. Think about that.
Think about that. Exactly.
People are very generous, and when people are called upon and they need it, they just got to be asked. I've learned that sometimes you just got to ask, and you'll be amazed. But I can tell you this: a lot of times, if it gets involved with a government program, it's almost, I always compare it. It's almost like the mob. You know, they're going to take their cut right off the top, aren't they?
Right. Yep.
Even though we pay their wages already.
Yep.
So, I just I think you could find something, and if it's formed as a 501c3, a nonprofit organization, Dusty, you could even get then the classification for a charitable contribution, which means that would allow people, if they wanted to donate to it, they could actually get a deduction for that then too, which would help for some people. Some people don't matter. Some
Sure.
people like to have that. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I know when we talked, you said this is going to happen, and yeah, we probably need to start having meetings. And
I think so. You know, we just need some more ideas, because basically it'd be like a pilot program too. You know,
to get it started, and the
started, 'cause
funds
there's
are
gonna be
going to
some
be
changes, and
yeah. My suggestion is to get started, come up with a name of a group, and you don't want to call it the feeding program, because it might become something bigger. I learned that
Right.
forming things and making a nonprofit, because that gives you a mechanism to raise money
sure.
in North Dakota. If you're doing it out of South Dakota, you don't need all that crap. You can be whatever you want to be. But
One
got
thing is though too, Clay, with the nonprofits, I mean, I kind of get a bad taste in my mouth for most nonprofits these days. You know,
yeah,
a lot of the ones sitting at the table, and I know they're not all that way, but man, it's
well, I was just thinking, not necessarily you have to function like they do, but just for the tax classification, it allows you to have raffles in this state.
sure. Yep, and raise some funds.
That's
Yep.
that I've never seen more archaic laws pertaining to that than in the state of North Dakota. I mean, it's insane. It really is. I couldn't believe it when I first took the helm at the NRA, and I started hearing these things like, oh, what are you doing in South Dakota? I said, we set the date, we do it. We live in a free state down there.
Is that easy?
It's that easy. Yeah. As long as you aren't, they brought big gambling, to the hills, and that they had to pass a law for, but that's different than having fundraisers and raffles.
Right.
So, yeah, I love the idea, but I think that definitely need to probably work on the structure and how you're going to do it.
Right.
Kelly says, how did Game and Fish gain control? How do we reclaim control of our game? That's a great question. How did they gain control? They just laid claim to it one day, didn't they? Said all the game is ours.
I think it's just been years of us not paying attention, actually, and I'm guilty of it too.
No, like
Because
every
they
right.
got the wrong organizations sitting at the table that aren't for the people, especially the sportsmen and landowners of North Dakota. That's why we need to start getting seats at the table and being more involved. And we are making the turn. We just need more people, Clay.
And you talked about, and I'm not going to name the organizations. I'm sure that I could right off the top of my head when you mentioned you've had sour taste in it, and it's those organizations have become bureaucracies, some of them.
Yep.
And they want to be more friends with these players. They want to drop names and be part of the good old boys club and get invited to the cool things. And they've kind of lost focus on what it was all about.
Right.
I saw it happen in the NRA, and now you're seeing a big change happen with the NRA. I mean, I witnessed it for 10 years, some of that stuff. And we kept being told, oh, no, there's nothing wrong here. And we even defended it. That's what pisses me off. I defended some of these guys because we were being told, no, and I believed them because I had trust in organizations. Well, that's what they've got a big bridge, and they're working on it. They truly are. But then I would encourage you now, everybody, to join them again if you quit, because there is real change going on there. I mean, I know several of the brand new NRA board members, but I think a lot of them organizations need to see one of them come to Jesus meetings, don't they? Where there's a big change in their structure and their upper level, managers, essentially.
Absolutely. And another really good organization is Hunter Nation too. HunterNation.org to get on. Keith, Mark, and the crew are doing an incredible job, and they're behind us with CWD 100% too, and they're all about rights and.
Well, they're focused like some of the groups used to be.
Right.
They've never strayed from it.
Right.
It's like it almost becomes big business and it shifts, right?
Yep, that's right.
And I think that's what happened in the NRA. NRA is still the 10,000-pound gorilla when it comes to legislation, but I'm telling you, there's a big shift happening, a good one, and it needed to happen. It should have happened 20 years ago, honestly. But
Sure.
we're here now, and it's kind of like you were saying. We're here now. I think you're right. We're seeing a turning point, I guess, in a way.
Yep.
And we'll see. I can tell you that North Dakota Game and Fish, wrong or right or earned or not, does not have a positive reaction from most. They just don't. When you mention their name, I mean, I bet you 9 times out of 10, I get pretty negative comments about them.
Sure. And you know what? It's kind of sad, really, because they do some good things, but they do a few things that just throw all the good out the window.
They do, and the fisheries seem pretty good. I mean, everyone says, "Oh, they got some really, they're really good at that." I don't know. I fish, right? But I'm not a great fisherman, so I go with people like Kelly that know how to fish. But I mean, I've been at some of them. When I compare them to what I see in South Dakota, I think they're a lot more involved, not just on just the big like Sakakawias and things, but it seems like even them smaller dams, they've done really some nice things. They made sure that they're taken care of. They've put some docks out there. I mean, they've done some nice things with the smaller lakes and dams across the state, which a lot of states don't do. So that's kind of nice to see. So I would say, I'd tip my hat to them because they've made sure they've made all them nice little fisheries all across the state, which you don't see that in a lot of places. So,
no, you don't. Yep.
I give them kudos where they do it.
Right.
So, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take another quick break because I'm way long-winded on this stuff tonight. But I would love to come. You want to talk about this elk season they're talking about in South Dakota?
You'll have to fill me in, but no, I didn't read that. But
oh, my goodness. It's interesting. Most people promote elk, right? Yeah, I want the elk.
Yeah.
Well, looks like to me they want to get rid of them on the eastern side of the state. So, I know what the area they're talking about, but yeah, we'll tell you what. Anybody got any comments on that? Just put it down there as the Vice Script Garage guys, blip bloopy in there. But anyway, you can make your comments on it. If you're a South Dakota resident, man, I might have to move across the border, buy just a little piece of land back over there, and become a resident again. Unlimited tags. This could be fun, couldn't it? So,
gosh, well, it's hard to beat elk meat.
All right, we'll be right back. We're going to take our small one right now, and we'll come right back.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right, go where Lemmons go. Kalon's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalon and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemmon. Kalon's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
Everybody, I want to remind you, Mary Grainer is running for the Senate seat in District 31. That's right here in Sioux County. It's part of Morton and part of Grant counties. Mary Grainer is taking on the incumbent, the establishment, the rhino, old Don Scheibele, and you want to get rid of him. The guy hates basically homeschoolers. Let's just call it out because he really does. Makes it very difficult. He's not really for property rights. He went ahead and supported Summit Carbon Solutions. So this guy is not a property rights man when he's okay with big companies coming in here and trampling all over your private property rights. Mary is a conservative. She's also a devoted Christian, and she's going to be the lone voice there for District 31 in that one Senate seat. You're going to want to put somebody in there who is pro-Second Amendment, pro-ag, pro-life, pro-everything property rights. You can't find anybody better. Vote for Mary Grainer in District 31 in the primary coming up here in North Dakota. Mary Grainer for District 31 Senate, the only choice this election cycle. All right. You notice I'm running political ads, but
you know what? We need more good people in there, Clay. So I'm a believer in that
truly
too.
do. And I can tell you that when they held the endorsing meetings, it was a hack job that Don Scheibele himself put together. I can tell you a multitude of things that this sneaky, snaky guy does, and that's what I call him. I don't trust him. I know that my friend Kelly is endorsing him, and I think Kelly's wrong on it, but that's okay. We can have that difference. Don is a snake, and he's there for power. He is there for the prestige of the office and does not give a flying what about anybody that's not in his circle. We don't need people like you. You represent the whole district. And that's how that should be. And I know Mary, you'll be able to call her up and she'll listen. And if she don't have the answer, she'll find out. So I'd rather have somebody like that in there. I think it's time for that change. So
100%. Yeah.
But anyway, so South Dakota. Oh, Brian Warner. Sorry, MVs. I have to catch the rerun. All right. We'll see you later, Brian. So May 5th, they had a little meeting. And I didn't know about this. I was going to talk about this Friday. Of course, I was sicker than dog, so I didn't do it. But they've been talking about this for a while. So they had a committee. It was made up of 3 state senators and 3 state representatives. And on May 5th, they voted 4-2 in favor of a new rules package that will have unlimited elk hunting in the eastern side, or an unlimited elk hunting season on the eastern side of the river, and increases the maximum number of elk licenses within Custer State Park. The 2 no votes, of course, were Democrats, a representative by the name of Eric Muckery. Boy, that's a good name for a Democrat. And Senator Liz Larson, both from Sioux Falls, they voted no. So let's just face it, it's always that Barney when, yeah. Now, I don't know how I feel about this, honestly, Dusty. I'd like to know the reasoning. I mean, they say this Tom Kirschman, he's the director of wildlife for the Department of Game and Fish down in South Dakota. And he says, he's got the whole thing. He goes, the elk usually typically make their home in Black Hills and other rugged terrain in western South Dakota. I mean, we're even starting to see them around here, and I've seen them in the Slim Buttes. They have a season there now. There's a pretty good population in the Slim Buttes down there by, that'd be Harding County, Buffalo, Riva area, if you've ever been in that country. But the elk, though, are becoming unwelcome guests in East River farm fields. So I think that's probably what's happening here. There's probably a lot of pushback going, hey, we don't want elk in these farm fields, which I can understand that. I can. There's an estimated population of Black Hills elk of 8,000, and it could be up to 2,000 on the western South Dakota plains. I think there's more than that. I think that estimate's really low just on the western side of South Dakota, honestly. I really do. East River populations are nowhere near that, but they didn't provide an estimate on it. They're found between Pierre and Chamberlain, so that'd be along that Missouri River watershed. It's quite a jaunt from Pierre to Chamberlain, but I've actually seen elk down in that country when I take them cut acrosses. You got to remember the Crow Creek Reservation and Lower Brule have had elk, of their own, and then they'd offer hunts and things like that. And just like Custer State Park, we all know what happened down there. That's how the whole hills got repopulated. They just didn't maintain the enclosure, and maybe that was on purpose. And I used to go down there, and you'd see huge holes in that fence. Yeah, I'm pretty sure elk are coming in and out. Anyway, they said that they have no. I mean, I gotta find this. They have no desire to have a manageable elk herd in the eastern side of the state. So they came up with this idea that they would offer an unlimited elk hunting season in East River. Now, I don't know about. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. I don't know. You got any thoughts on that?
I'm thinking for thoughts on that. I really don't. I'm not sure what to think of that. I mean, I could kind of see where, keep the elk in the western half of the state if the people in the eastern half don't want them. I mean, if the people were for that, I'd be all for that.
Yeah. I mean, and I get it. And they did. So I went and dug this up. So on an average, and yeah, the state does not want to. Yeah, that's their whole reasoning. They don't want to manage elk on the eastern side of the Missouri River, and they're supposed to be a management agency, right? So, and the people are not saying, yeah, bring more elk. I mean, not that I've seen, but I also haven't heard much about getting rid of them, really. But so a Rocky Mountain elk eats roughly 3 pounds of forage per day for every 100 pounds that it weighs. Okay, well, we know how big elk can get, right? Yeah, that could end up being a lot of food for one elk.
Right, 700 pound animals.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a ton of hay. I mean, pretty easy, right?
Yep.
It translates to a lot of crops when they move on to private farmlands, and I'm sure that's where this is coming from. And they are right. Eastern South Dakota it's pretty much exclusively privately owned. It truly is. There's the grasslands up there. There's a few pieces of grasslands along that Missouri River, but when you start moving east, I mean, there might be little state refuges, things like that, but for the most part, it's privately owned and it's farmed. I mean, you're talking big farming over there. These guys, they don't farm 5,000 acres. That's one field. They farm 50,000. So it's a big deal. And
sure.
I don't know. I mean, I was trying to dig it up and see, was there a big core of people saying we want these things eliminated? I couldn't find that, but I didn't have time today. But there's the proposed map. So everything right there, that's the East River unit.
In the light gray.
Yep, light gray. Yep. That's what they're going to call it.
I'm not ERA. I'm not too surprised the elk population's that great because I used to turkey hunt on the Nebraska side south of the Fort Randall Dam, and I'm talking like 25, 30 years ago. We'd see elk down there then.
Yeah, they didn't give any estimates, but the people I do know that I called on this, they figure it's under 1,000, which that's pretty broad statement. I mean, I would figure it's under 1,000 too, or we'd have a bigger problem, right?
Right.
A couple guys said that they figure it's 200, and they're scattered between a big, vast area.
Right.
I have no clue. I mean, of course, that unit will not include the reservation because they got their own herds.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Elk migrate. They do. I mean, there were none. You look up here in this piece, right up here where my finger is.
Yeah.
That's that Harding County area. And that's where the Slim Buttes are part of the National Forest Service. And there's an ample amount of elk up there now. So at first that was the first thing when they were discovered. Oh, it's not breeding animals. I'm like, bullshit. I myself had personally seen bulls down there with cows, with a little small group of cows. Now whether they migrated down out of the Badlands or came up from the hills, it could have easily been either or.
Sure.
I mean, you're right there in that corner, and it wouldn't be a stretch to say they got pushed out, from the Badlands and just migrated south.
Right.
And so, yeah, I don't know. I would be excited if I was a South Dakota resident. I'd be applying.
We're putting some miles on.
Yeah, I got a place I'd go, actually. I've already contacted him and said, hey, you going elk hunting? He goes, yeah, I saw that too. And one thing about it with the job I held at NRA, I know people all over both these states.
Sure.
I said, but I can't get one the way it looks. I'm not going to, it sounds like it's going to be for South Dakota residents, but I don't know how many elk they're talking about. I imagine they're going to have to figure out what that is, how many tags they're going to issue. And then are they going to say, okay, is this an elimination of the herd? If it is, they're going to issue like to do mountain lions, and they'll say, okay, let's say there's 200 elk. We're going to issue as many tags as people want. And when 200's hit, then the season's done. I don't know. That'd
Sounds
be
like
cool.
It's kind of a pilot program in the elk season, it sounds like.
Yeah, I really do it. And I would say that, and I don't know what they're going to charge for them either. Custer State Park is going to go from 10 archery tags to 15, and from 25 firearms tags to 50 now. And of course, they're kind of trying to say that part of that's because of the CWD and it's competing with other animals. So kill them. I guess maybe South Dakota's in a killing mood. I don't know.
I guess so. Well, that's the crazy thing, though. The elk are blowing up in South Dakota. The elk are blowing up in North Dakota. It's like just the deer is the problem with CWD. I mean, the antelope are blowing up in North Dakota with these nice winters. I mean, it's
yeah.
Not to make it all about CWD again, but I mean, it's just ridiculous. They're all supposed to get it, supposedly.
Well, I was going to say, especially elk. I mean, they're right in that class. I mean, seriously, they're part of the deer family.
Yep.
Elk should be dropping like flies, right?
Right.
According to what we hear.
Yeah.
Why is it just deer?
Yeah.
And primarily whitetails.
Right. Yeah.
Not whitetail. I mean, mule
deer.
EHD, which they finally mentioned, that hit whitetails. It came through here, and it took my whitetails. I mean, I have so many nice big sheds that you can't even imagine.
Gosh.
And we had some very nice deer. Eric, who's listening, I can tell you, he was out there, and we had some potential coming up on this place.
Yeah.
They'd be running. It was pretty cool to see. So, yeah, I'll get back to so he goes. Eric just says, my in-laws had 2 elk on their land this evening, and that's in Perkins County. That's just it. Perkins County is just south of me here, south and west.
Okay.
Lemmon, which is 20 miles to the west of me, and that stretches down to Bison, which is approximately 50 miles, I guess, from Lemmon. And I bet I know who he's talking about. And they've been having elk down in that country too. And I imagine those could be being pushed out of that Slim Buttes area. The elk are spreading. People don't forget, elk were all over the grasslands.
At one time, right.
It wasn't until we started coming out here, and the pioneers, they don't like people, so they started leaving and going to the elevated areas. I mean, used to be elk out here all the time. I mean, they do well out here. So I even had a moose in my yard this year, right here.
Wow.
I would love to have a moose season here, but I wouldn't like to have the numbers that would support a moose season here because they're hard on the fences.
Yep.
But yeah, we've had moose here, and it's not just here. That was a young, it was probably a yearling, and that was big enough. But you just went a little farther to the west, and there was a full-grown young bull moose, adult. And then my buddy Jason, he gets them down on his place. That's approximately 30 miles as the crow flies to the south. Every year he's got, seems like moose showing up down there.
I'll be darned.
And he gets elk down there. So, I mean, they're here.
Yeah. You just never know what you're going to see out there. We got a few moose that stroll through here every year, too, it seems like. I've been watching a cow for quite a few years. I have a calf every year.
Yeah, it's kind of neat to see them, but yeah, I don't know how I'd feel if there was a big population. I put in for the elk unit to the east of me over there, which is over by that Selfridge area. And I'm sure what happened there, the tribes, they had an enclosed area there. Standing Rock did nice. You've probably seen the pictures of some of the elk coming out of that unit. Well, now there's enough elk that are off of the reservation lands and into the areas that, I think it's E2 or E4. I think they give 2 to 3 tags out a year now.
Really?
I have not been lucky enough to draw one of them either, because I've got land I can hunt over there.
Oh man! Well, you can't get them if you don't apply.
Well, I apply every year, and I give them my confiscation money just for applying.
Confiscation.
Yeah. So yeah, let's see. What do you say here? People that get that tag will be disappointed, though. They'll be complaining on Facebook about not being able to find elk on land they can hunt. Could be, because it's going to be mostly private. Think about that aspect. You're going to have to go and make a landowner contact and make a relationship, aren't you?
That's right. Yeah, what's supposed to all be about anyway.
Yeah, so that'd be to me, that'd be a positive thing that would come out of it.
Right.
Harding County tag isn't what it used to be, as it was a few years ago. Elk on they go on the private land now, and it's all fee hunting. Gotcha. And I figured that would happen. Yeah, there was going to be a ton of elk down there. I know his dad, Eric's dad. Eric, remind me, how old was your dad? Because Eric's dad is like one of the most physically fit people I know at his age. And he went elk hunting. It was pretty cool to see those pictures and things. So, Paul, good evening. Paul, I got your message. I was in a tractor when you called and I did not hear it. Then I had to go on the show. So, just so you know. All right. So, I don't know. I think it's a neat idea. It's an intriguing idea, this unlimited elk season. If the goal is to get rid of them from East River, and the people are okay with that, I guess, probably support it, right?
Yeah.
But if there's people that want those over there, then what? I mean, is it up to the Game and Fish to say, you know what? We're not going to let those animals live over there? I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, because what's saying that they shouldn't be living there too? I mean, to me, I guess you just go back to really what the people want.
Yeah, I mean, to get rid of elk because of production farming, I don't know. I mean, it is their private land. I would say this. Any landowner that wants a tag should get one.
Right, especially if he's having issues too and problems.
Yep,
yeah.
Just free. It should be a gratis tag for that guy to take an elk off of his own land, especially if they're a problem.
Right.
And I said maybe that will be something that's been discussed or will be discussed. I don't know, but I didn't. It's kind of new, and I didn't have time to see if there's been any new, new things added to it. But I imagine that's going to be a very developing season and rules and things that. We will definitely be watching it. 76, his dad is. So his dad went on up under the buttes. Yeah, and Dell, like I said, is very physically fit and in good shape, especially at his age. So kudos to him, and he loves to go hunting yet. Think about that. I hope when I'm 76, I still have it in me that if I want to go hunting, I can.
Absolutely.
It always seems so far away, but it's really not.
I'm hoping it's more like 86, 96, maybe.
Well, I'm only 24 years away from that number. That don't seem so long anymore, does it? So.
Right.
Well, I guess that's about all. I mean, I got some other things, but I didn't want to go the full 2 hours tonight. But is there anything you want to bring up, about the bee world or what people should be doing here now that spring has arrived? And I'm sure you're going to be setting hives out pretty soon.
Yeah, about mid-June we'll get the bees back. We always figure like when the alfalfa starts to bloom, roughly 15th of June. That's a good time to get them back here. Sweet clover starts to bloom, and that's when we get the bees back here.
My plans have been delayed, but it looks like next week I'm going to finally get my seed. So I can switch grass and wildflower. I did not go with the sandfoin when I priced it. I'm all for doing this, but you know what? Alfalfa is cheaper.
Sure.
I don't know. I imagine, sandfoin hard to get seed, or if it's just not enough of a demand. But that was some pretty expensive stuff per pound. I think I'm just going to throw alfalfa in there.
Sure. Which alfalfa is still a little spendy too. So switchgrass, but
the switchgrass I want. But the switchgrass was spendy, but the sandfoin was the most expensive seed.
I'll be darned.
I was like, holy cow! So
it's probably all right to wait in a week or so anyway. Maybe some rains will start showing up here because, man, if you can get some rains on that within a couple of weeks, that's going to do pretty awesome.
Oh, I thought it'd be pretty cool. And the only thing is, when I was asking them, I said, now I can throw wildflowers in there and they won't be drowned out then by the switchgrass. It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like it should thrive within there.
It should thrive with it, yeah. Just make sure you got a good clean seed bed to start because the weeds and stuff don't take over. Because switchgrass takes about a good 2-3 years to really take off.
So unfortunately, then I probably should spray that little piece down, huh? And kill everything in it.
Yeah, I mean,
I
to
hate
have
to
a
do
good,
that.
I hate to do that too, but to get a
Yeah.
really good stand, you probably should. Because
I mean, I've
once
worked
you
it.
get through the first year with the switchgrass, the second year is not so big a deal.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked it, so I mean, that's good. I'll do it again. I've been doing that, but I mean, it's a 30-acre spot. I plan to put trees in there with it, behind it. Actually, I know it's going to be just a nice little cover area, and I'm hoping that when it gets established, it'll be a little haven for them to have a little real habitat cover.
Exactly right. It will for sure.
And then the bees that he wants to put over there, hopefully that'll be a nice place for a new spot for hives. So yeah.
Yep. No, it will be with your wildflowers and just get a good take. Yep.
I don't plan on ever cutting it. That's not the point of that. Maybe
Right.
if I got into a real bind and I needed extra hay, but I don't know if I'd ever need hay that bad.
To cut that 30 acres, right?
Yeah, I mean it's
As far as
38.
Right. But as far as switchgrass goes, in 4, 5, 6 years, if you did cut it, I mean, they recommend cutting it or burning it. It comes back even better. So,
Really? Well, see, yeah, that's why I have you. You got some. So.
I'm no professional at it either, but
But you got more experience than I do. So this is new. I'll probably be the only guy here that has switchgrass in this area.
really, probably. But man, is it some unreal cover? Golly.
Well, that's my thought. I thought, man, I can just. I'm already looking at this in 10 years where I can go and jump a big buck out of there.
Absolutely. Right. Oh, you will. Wanting to take 10 years.
Probably not, but
no.
Might take 10 years to grow the deer. I don't know. But
yeah. Right.
No, we got deer around. So if Kelly's still listening, we can jump him out of there for you, Kelly, but you still got to hit him. You can ask him about that later.
Right.
30-odd 6 might not have been the gun that day. Anyway.
Rub it in.
So, yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, I said I've done a lot of more studying on bees than I ever did just to see what would work. And then them guys up there at Chesapeake Seed, I think that's the name if I remember right, out of Bismarck.
Yep.
They seem like they got a lot of knowledge in that, so they've been pretty good.
A lot of good things about them. So yeah,
they seem like they've been great to work with, and they got everything on hand. So they'll mix and blend whatever you want. And then they'll tell you, well, don't put this in there. That won't work. That's what I need. I don't know nothing about this stuff.
Right. That's great. Yeah.
So, yeah, I do highly recommend it. If you're looking for wildlife habitat mixed in with something that you're going to have pollinators, or they'll blend. They'll put the right things together so they'll grow together. That's what
that's great. So, yep. And I know seed, the soil prep is huge on that stuff too, just to get a good kill right out of the gate so it doesn't have any competition.
Yeah, and so that piece when I worked it, good, bad, or indifferent, it's been farmed continuous for way too long.
Okay.
And even when we had moisture, we had some snows here, there wasn't a single green plant on that piece of ground.
Wow.
I mean, granted, it was cooler here, but we had you'd have thought a weed would have at least popped up.
Right. Yep.
And I've noticed that with some of that. That's why a lot of this ground I'm taking out of production and doing things with it.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I do is I go till it, and people just cringe. I think I can hear them screaming when I do
it. Probably.
I mean, this piece I just worked to put alfalfa in. I mean, I went on that twice, and there's that much loose, and then it gets hard packed below it. I should have probably ripped it, but I didn't have time. So I guess I'll go maybe the next time I have to tear it up. But I think I'm going to have to start ripping some of the soil. I mean, when you that much, that's not much.
No,
and it gets hard. It's compacted. Yeah. Not good. You wonder why there ain't no earthworms in it. Well, that's partially why. They're all dead.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
That little other piece I have on that same property over there to the west. So not by choice. It's just because I never got any. I didn't get to where I was at till right now to get it done. So I've just been fallowing it every year. That's some nice soil right now. I've been being worked for 3-4 years.
Oh, we got worms in it too.
Oh my goodness. You can go out there now. It's got a good deep bed of soil, that's not compacted. Yeah, I can take my shovel out there now and I can dig, and guess what? There's earthworms in it again. There wasn't any earthworms in it.
Yeah. That's great.
So, one year the pigeon grass got a little far away from me on it, but then I went and tilled it all in, and then I just kept doing that. And I don't know, I figured that's got to be some good organics going into the ground. I'll just have to make sure that when I do something with it, I'm going to have to kill that pigeon grass.
Right.
But since I've been working it, it seems like it's getting to be less and less. I don't let it go to seed.
Awesome.
So, but you should have seen the doves in it that one fall. You walk over there, they just they like that pigeon grass.
They're pretty good to eat, tasty eaters too.
Love doves. Just take so many dove nuggets. Well, Dusty, I guess I'm going to call this a show because I can already smell the pizza.
Sounds good.
I remember I told you that earlier.
Yeah.
Like I said, anything you want to let anybody know, or want to plug that page and what you got coming up?
I just keep checking that chronic wasting disease Facebook page, and I just want everybody to be safe out there and have a good spring. I know it's a busy time of year for people too, so I'm sure we'll be on again too, and it gets closer to season, and just whatever
absolutely,
whatever comes out, we'll put it on our page, or we'll get back on the show and let the people know.
I'll put it up here. I think it'll come through. There you go.
There you
see
go.
It right there. That's what it looks like.
Perfect. Just
chronic wasting disease.
Always appreciate everybody tuning in, whether you agree with us or not. We're good with that too. So
you can go ahead and be friends with it, share it, invite people to it. Just absolutely get on there and check it out. There, what does Santa and North Dakota Game and Fish have in common? That's awesome. I love it. But there's a ton of information on that page, and it's factual. This is not rhetoric.
Right.
It's not somebody thinking they know. I'm telling you, Dusty's the guy. And when I finally met you, I was like, I wish I'd have met you a long time ago.
Right.
You got the info. So I appreciate you coming on, Dusty. And we'll have you on again, definitely updating us on this stuff. So
sounds great, Clay. Appreciate having me on.
Yeah. All right, everybody. That's going to be a wrap for us. I can tell you right now that Friday, barring me being sick, hopefully I'm not, but I'll be on with Todd Mitchell in the morning, 7:15 a.m., 8:15 Central. And I'm probably going to, I got a couple of subjects I want to bring up. I'm probably going to hit on this Georgia kid that got suspended. I'm not kidding, guys, for having a little Lego gun he made. And it was incredibly stupid on that. And that's what's the problem with zero tolerance policies, but blanket everybody and put them in a box. So tune in for that on KFYR, 5:50 a.m., 7:15 a.m. in the morning, 8:15 Central in the morning. Friday night, 5 p.m., Blackbeard Logic with Leon Francis. He's always got an intriguing and interesting show. 5 o'clock p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Central, right here on the Guns and 701 Network on all our platforms. Sunday is the Sunday Sportsman's Devotion with Vance Bishop. He was absent. He had food poisoning Sunday, so he did not make his show on Sunday morning, but he's doing good. I talked to him, so thanks, Vance. Glad to hear you're doing okay. And that comes on at 7 o'clock a.m. Mountain, 8 a.m. Central. And we're working on another show. We'll see how this goes. I'm not promising anything, but it's got a lot of promise. I think it'll be fun. Another fun addition to the Guns in the 701 Network. With that, everybody, I sure appreciate all the followers and listeners. Remember, go over there and hit the subscribe. We appreciate everybody that's doing that, and that just supports this show. Thanks to all our great sponsors as well. We couldn't do it without you, especially Lauer Auto Repair. They've been with us from the very beginning. Axe and the crew do some great work up there. Head up South Washington as you come off the expressway in Bismarck, and you're going to run right into Lauer Auto Repair. Pretty easy to find. 701-258-6308 if you want to get a hold of them down there and make an appointment. And might be a good time. Spring is in the air. Get out and do a little fishing, maybe a little shooting, whatever you're up to. So go ahead and do that. Appreciate everybody for joining us again. We will see everybody here, same time, same place next Tuesday. Keep your powder dry, and God bless.